Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, good afternoon and good evening or good morning from wherever you are in the world. So, and Venerable Mahasangha and the other venerables and the laity. So today we're going to start this Dhatukatha class, the lecture series, and I see a lot of participants in the meeting, which is quite nice and encouraging, of course, to find out that there are so many people who are interested in learning this the pariyatti. So that's very encouraging as a teacher. And first, I will like to appreciate and say sadhu for the effort, for the willingness, the willingness. When you say in Pali, the chanda to join the class and to learn this dhamma. So that is a very good thing, and it's going to be very beneficial for us for this life, in this life, and in the other lives as well. So that I really appreciate, and I'll say sadhu for that. And the other thing, now what we are going to do is that we know that we are going to learn this Dhatukatha, and when it comes to Abhidhamma, I think so, because you are joining the Dhatukatha class now, you all maybe have learned the Abhidhamma up to some extent, and you may know that this Dhamma, especially the Abhidhamma, it is going to be a profound one. So the Dhamma, it's going to be a profound one. So then it's going to be difficult for us, for all of us, including me, for me to teach it and for you all to understand it. So, but the most important thing is that now, since the first day, now I see so many students, so many participants in the class, I would like all of you to continue till the end. So till the end, because that is going to be very important and going to be very supportive for us in terms of accumulating the parami. So that is the first thing that I would like to remind. And as we know that now this class we are conducting with the Chinese translation, and Venerable Kassapa, Bhikkhu Kassapa, who is residing in Myanmar, so he's going to translate. And so that's how we are going to do these classes. So class, and I think it's going to be beneficial for the Chinese speakers, Chinese speaking community. So Venerable Kassapa, so now it's your turn to translate it. Now is it there, right, Bante? Also?
Bante, I have some problems with the mic. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you also. Yes.
Okay. So can I translate now, Bante?
Yes, sure. So I will pause, right? I will stop. Maybe I'll talk maybe 1-2 minutes. Then I'll stop. Then you can continue.
Okay.
Go like that, right?
Okay, Bante. 尊敬的各位法师、各位下列各位贤友，大家晚上好。那么今天呢，非常荣幸，我们能够邀请到尊敬的阿杜拉尼亚那尊者为大家开始有关于戒论的内容。尊者在开始讲课之前，首先非常感谢有这样的机会，能够邀请到大家一起来去进行有关于戒论的学习，并且呢，尊者十分的赞赏大家有这样的学习善法的意愿。
Okay. So then I would like you all to remind a couple of things regarding our class, and kind of it's not rules, right? It's like the things that I would like to practice in the class, right? So in this class, what I would like to do is as like for you all to engage in the discussion, right? So when you have a questions, if you have something to add on, so you all can join and ask me questions, right? So until not to wait until the end of the lecture and ask questions. So instead of that, you can always ask questions. The questions are encouraged, and I hope that you'll ask the relevant questions which is in the context. And if it is not, I will say, okay, now this is not related to that point, the point we are discussing, and then I will say maybe in the next chapter, or maybe in the next section, we are going to discuss it. So like that, I encourage you all to ask questions and do the class in an engaging way, to have the to have the feeling that we do it in a classroom, right? And one more thing is like for as a teacher, it's very boring for me to I'm staying like maybe hundreds of kilometers away, maybe thousands, I don't know, right? So, and it's very boring to talk to the screen without seeing anybody, right? Because still I'm a monk, but I'm a human. So if it is okay on your side, so I wish that at least a few students switch on the camera, so that I can at least see that few people a few students, a few participants are understanding what I'm telling. So that's a kind request, but I'm not insisting you all to do it, but it's going to be kind of a good thing for me as a teacher to do this class like without feeling bored to talking to us just to a screen, right?
尊者，首先呢，对大家说，我们的这一次的课程呢，是属于一种非常开放式的学习。在课程的过程之中，任何时候，如果大家对于所学习的内容产生了问题，大家可以当即对老师产生问题，对老师进行发问。那么，如果说所问的问题老师可以进行回答呢，那么在当即呢就会对大家进行解释。如果说是不相关的内容呢，尊者也会告诉大家，会在之后的内容之中提及。再有的话呢，尊者希望大家能够都将视频打开。作为老师呢，非常希望能够看到大家的面貌。
Okay, so now we'll straight away move into our discussion. Right. So I have distributed these small additional notes to Dhatukatha lecture. So why I may name this as the additional notes, because the main book, the note, what we are going to use is from the Mulapaṭṭhāna Sayadaw's translation for the Dhatukatha. So some of y'all may have know this Sayadaw. Sayadaw mean in Myanmar, in Burmese language, Sayadaw means the teacher. So Mulapaṭṭhāna Sayadaw, he lived like maybe about, I don't know exactly, right? So maybe 50, 60 years ago, he lived and he did a lot of propagation work for Abhidhamma, especially with the Patthana and the other areas of Patthana in the Abhidhamma Pitaka. So what he did was like he propagated a lot of Abhidhamma work in Myanmar, in Burmese, to promote this Dhamma, and also he did translated a couple of books regarding the Abhidhamma Pitaka. So one of these books is regarding the Dhatukatha, which we are going to discuss. So that book we will use as the translation in our discussion.
大家可以看到，现在尊者给大家展示的是有关于第一堂课的一些所做的摘要和笔录。那么为什么说是一些摘要呢？因为全部的论藏的内容呢十分的广阔。我们这一次所使用的主要的教材呢是取自于缅甸的穆拉帕塔纳西亚多，叫做 Naraga 的西亚多。这位西亚多，据尊者所说呢，大概是在50-60年之前，在缅甸是享有声誉的一位非常著名的研究阿毗达摩的西亚多。西亚多是老师的意思。这位西亚多呢，他在阿毗达摩的范围之内做出了非常卓越的贡献，并且呢，对于很多论藏的内容进行了广泛的翻译。
And one more thing that I forgot to mention about this Mulapatthana Sayadaw is the Mulapatthana is a name which is been known by the community called Mulapatthana Sayadaw. His original Pali name was Narada. So Narada is the Pali name. In Burmese they call Ashin Narada. So yes.
那么这位穆拉巴塔纳西亚多，他的名字呢，我们叫做Naraga 西亚多。
Yes. So now when we'll move to the we'll figure it out what we are studying. So in Dhatukatha, we know the Dhatukatha book is the third book in the Abhidhamma Canon, in the Abhidhamma Pitaka. You know, I know that some of y'all have studied some of these books in the Abhidhamma Pitaka. So starting from Dhammasangani, Vibhanga, Dhatukatha. So this is the book that we are going to discuss, right? The others are Puggala Panyati, Kathavatu, Yamaka, and Patthana. So the next thing that we need to know is that there are 4 special methods in Abhidhamma. When it comes to this Abhidhamma Pitaka, there are 4 special methods. So one is called the Dhammasangani method, the second one is called the Dhātukatha method, and the third one is called the Yamaka method, and the fourth one is called the Patthana method. So that is the first book is Dhammasangani, the third one is Dhatukatha, and the sixth one is the Yamaka, and the seventh one is the Patthana. So why we call these treatises, the 4 special books, these books as the special methods? The reason being that each of these books we have to learn in a different way, like with the support of the teacher mostly, or maybe using the commentaries. We have to teach in a different way each time, right? I mean, now when it comes to the Sutta Pitaka or maybe in the Vinaya Pitaka, we can straight away read the Pali, and then we can translate, then we can read the commentary, and like that we can directly read it like reading a book straight away. But when it comes to Dhammasangani, Dhatukatha, Yamaka, and Patthana, you have to learn what is the content in a special way, mostly with the support of a teacher or maybe using any other supportive books. So in each of these books in the Abhidhamma Canon, these 4 books, there is a special method. So some of y'all, I know that you may have studied maybe one of many all books. So what we are going to do in this class, in this lecture series, is to study the method which is involved in the Dhatukatha.
在阿毗达摩的阿毗达摩藏之中呢，主要包含了七个主要的部分，它们分别是在这里大家能够看到的：第一，Dhammasangani、Vibhanga、Dhatukatha、Pukkala-Panyati、Kathavatu、Yamaka 和 Patthana， 那即是第一个法集论，第二个分别论，第三个戒论，第四是人施设论，第五呢是事论，第六呢是双论，第七呢是发趣论。那么这七部论呢，是构成论藏的主体的内容。针对于整个的论藏呢，有这样的4种研究的方法。对于三藏的经典，那么在经藏和律藏的学习的过程之中，我们可以仅仅是阅读经文，然后透过阅读译注，对于这些内容进行理解。 而对于阿毗达摩的学习呢，我们需要经由一些有传承的、有老师指导的、有系统性的学习，才能够很好的去掌握。那么这里呢，针对于这七部的论藏的论藏的内容呢，那么可以将其归纳为四种的学习的系统。它四种的学习的系统呢，即是第一达桑嘎尼，即是法集论的学习体系；第二种是达杜嘎塔戒论的学习体系，以及亚玛嘎双论的学习体系，还有巴塔纳的学习体系。
Okay, so now we'll move into learn what the meaning of Dhatukatha. So I have mentioned the definition of Dhatukatha. So there are two words involved here. One is Dhatu and the second one is Katha. So Dhatu, what is meant in Dhatu, when you translate it into English, it's called an element. So what is an element? So element is defined as that which bears its own intrinsic nature. So the elements which is explained in the Abhidhamma, it possesses its own intrinsic nature. It bears its own intrinsic nature. It cannot be changed to another form. So in this, that is what is meant by dhatu. And katha, it means the discourse. So the discourse on elements, it's called Dhatukatha, right?
首先呢，尊者为大家解释了什么是在此的戒论，也就是我们将要学习的内容。达杜嘎塔由达杜和嘎塔这两个词组成。首先，什么是达杜呢？达杜在此被译为戒。何谓在此的戒呢？它被定义为能够拥有自性法的自性相的究竟法，也即是他们并不会因为外在的条件而发生改变。那么嘎塔的含义呢，是指的讨论、对话或者是演讲。因此，达杜嘎塔的含义呢，即是对于戒的讨论，即是戒论。
Right. Then we'll further move into this meaning, what it means as what is mentioned and what is meant in Dhatukatha. So in it's defined. It has two definitions. One is called Dhātukathā. Second one is called Dhātukathā. So these definitions, these what you call these etymological expressions, they are given in the sub-commentaries and sub-commentaries, right? There are three definitions. I just mentioned two of these definitions. So the first definition, it's given as Dhātukathā. It's in the possessive case, right? So this is when you translate this Dhātukathā to English, we can say it as discourse of elements, right? The discourse which belongs to the elements, right? So we can translate in this way. So now we know as Abhidhamma students, right? So we know that in Abhidhamma, right? So if you have maybe, if you are studying the Abhidhamma Sangaha, maybe you have studied the Matikas, maybe you have studied the, from the 7 books, you may have studied maybe one or maybe all of these books. So, in almost all these books, excluding the Puggala Panyati and some part of the Kathavattu, it's the Dhatus, right? It's the ultimate realities which are discussed in these books. So why would someone, right? Why would Buddha, why our Lord Buddha mention this treatise, this book in Abhidhamma Canon as Dhatukatha? Why not the other books? So you have to come across this question. So in the sub-commentary, it explains, like, it is given in Satisaya Naya. Satisaya Naya means in Pali, it's in inference of exceedance. So what we have to use an example to explain this inference of exceedance. So now this is in Pali, Abhirupassa Kanya Dhatabbo, right? Abhirupassa Kanya Dhatabbo. So what is mentioned, what is the meaning of this Abhirupassa Kanya Dhatabbo? It means that the maiden should be given to the handsome man, right? So when you say it in this way, right, when it comes to expressing something, so which means that there is one maiden. This maiden should be given to the handsome man. So it says like you have to give the maiden to the most handsome man. I think my English is correct, right? The most handsome man, right? Not for any other man. You have to give the maiden to the most handsome man. So like that, now this discourse regarding the Dhatukatha, this in Dhatukatha, the dhatus, the elements, are discussed and explained in detail, in exceedance, than the other books in the Abhidhamma Pitaka, right? So because of that, this book we are going to study is given the name Dhatukatha.
那么对于达杜嘎塔，它的含义呢，在此呢有2种的主要的解释。第一种呢是达杜南嘎塔，第二种呢是达杜希嘎塔。首先，第一种的达杜南嘎塔，在此的嘎杜南是属格的含义，即是戒的讨论、戒的谈论。那么，为什么在这里被命名为达杜卡塔戒论，而并没有在阿毗达摩的其他的书中将其称之为戒论呢？是因为在此萨迪萨亚拿亚，是因为它是主要是借由数的统计或超过数的方式呢来去进行对于法的谈论，在诸论之中，像法集论或双论等的内容之中，在此所探讨的对象，很多时候都是以究竟法的对象而去进行探讨，而在双论之中呢，在戒论之中呢，它是之所以被特定的叫做戒论，是因为它以主要的数的方式而去进行探讨。那么再接下来，阿比鲁巴萨感亚达达沟，那么也就是说，这种的法或这样的方式呢，它是被佛陀所教导的，尤其是给予那些出色的、优秀的人的宝藏。
Yes. And the second definition regarding this one is Dhātukathā. So it's in instrument case. It means that discourse by elements, right? So it's the discourse in this book, in this treatise, is done using the elements. But now when we are going to study this Dhatukatha, we see that there are 3 types where this discourse is done, right? It's one based on the aggregates, the other types is based on the 12 bases, and the other one is on the elements. So we see three things. But here, why this Dhatukatha name is given is that when you compare these aggregates and elements, we know when it comes to aggregates, there are only 5 aggregates. When it comes to elements, there are how many? 12. I'm sorry. When it comes to the bases, there are 12 bases, right? So there are 12 bases. But when it comes to the elements, how many are there? There are 18 of them, right? So there are 18 of them, and because of that, it has an extensive domain. The Pali word which is used here is called Mahavisaya. Mahavisaya means it which possesses an extensive domain. So when you compare it with the aggregates and the bases, it's going to have it does have an extensive base, extensive domain. So because of that reason, this book is given the name Dhatukatha. So that is the second way that it is defined here.
第二种的含义呢，叫做达杜希嘎塔，在此所使用的格位呢是工具格，也就是以讨论的方式，以借的方式而去探讨，而去说。那么这样的一种含义，为什么是这样说呢？是因为马哈维萨亚，是因为它具有大的领域。 为什么说它具有大的领域呢？是因为将其与韵和处，即是五韵5种的坎达和处12种的处阿亚达那进行比较。那么戒呢，它拥有18的数，在领域上呢，戒相比较于韵和处会显得更加的庞大，更加的宽泛，所以呢，它被称之为是马哈维萨亚。
Okay, now I have something to tell you all, that when I made the notice regarding the class, right, it was actually, now I never had a plan to do this class, right, but there was a request from a Dhamma friend, and like then I understood that their need, their chanda, their willingness to learn this Dhamma, to learn this Dhatukatha. So that's why I accepted it. And when I sent my notice on doing the class, I mentioned, how to do the Viber group, then all the other details I sent. But I forgot to mention one thing, that is like who will be qualified, who are the students, who are the participants, which are suited to learn Dhatukatha. That I did not mention, so that now I'm going to tell it, right? So might be discouraging for some student, but it's not going to be like that, because I'll come up with an alternative. So one thing that we know, that I think most of y'all have learned the Abhidhamma Sangha in full or up to some extent. Now, what I mean as Abhidhamma Sangha means either it should be Abhidhamma Sangha with the commentary, with the sub-commentary, or any other supporting book like Manual of Abhidhamma, the Comprehensive Manual of Abhidhamma, or any other book, right? I'm telling about them. So I think you all have that the basic knowledge, and that's why you are here. So in addition to Abhidhamma Sangha, now we know it's the kind of a doorway to the Abhidhamma, and so if you are following the proper method to learn the Abhidhamma, you have to start with Abhidhamma Sangha, then you have to start with the Dhamma Sangani. So when you're starting the Dhamma Sangani, the study of Dhamma Sangani, you have to learn the Matika, the topics in Abhidhamma, right? So then with in detail, with the associated ultimate realities for each of the topics. So that is going to be the base for the Dhamma Sangani, and then you read the Dhamma Sangani treatise in full. So that's how it goes. Then we move to the Vibhanga. Then the third book is called Dhatukatha. So the Matika, which comes here, which you are supposed to learn, if you know the Abhidhamma Sangha, if you have a substantial knowledge in the Abhidhamma Sangha, plus if you know the Matika, then you can learn the Dhātukatha, then you can learn the Patthana, right? Without going through this sequence, you can learn it. I don't recommend anybody to learn it this way, right? The Buddha, our Lord Buddha, he preached this Dhamma in a particular way, right? Which is like, step by step, it's going to be a difficult one, right? To make it deeper, right? Step by step, not in a, to jump here and there. Like what we are going to do is not very nice when it comes to Dhamma. I have to say that. So anyway, so to learn Dhātukatha, you need the knowledge in addition to the Abhidhamma Sangha. You need the understanding of the Matika as well. So that I did not mention. So, but there is an alternative way. If you have now, when you hear this, you will be discouraged, of course, because I have learned Abhidhamma Sangha, but I have not studied the Matika yet. So, but don't be discouraged for that thing, right? We have a method to do that. That means now you can study the Matika and Dhatukatha simultaneously together, right? I'll suggest a way to do that. So don't be discouraged, and if you are putting the effort in the right way, if you are consistent, we can do it in that way. You can learn it in that way, and we can schedule the classes based on that, giving you adequate time to prepare for Matika and Dhatukatha, and to learn these two things together. In English, Sally Aganyani shared a document. I already sent that in the Viber group, and Bhante Kassapa mentioned me last night that he also prepared a book in Chinese, a booklet in Chinese to learn the Matika and Dhatukatha. So I'm pretty sure that he will help you all in guiding you on how to study the Matika. So I will also do some kind of a guidance for those who have not studied the Matika yet. Also,
Hello, Pandey.
yes, please translate.
OK，班队，尊者刚刚呢，有提及，那么这一次的有关于戒论的学习呢，是因为受到夏雷的以及贤友们的邀请，所以才展开，并且呢，直接在 Viber 之中建立了群组，然后呢，就安排了课程的学习。然而呢，在那时呢，尊者并没有提及要去学习戒论的先决的条件。对于论藏的学习呢，实际上在开展戒论的学习之前呢，还是应当做好一些相对应的准备。那么，哪些的准备是相对而言学习戒论是相关或必要的呢？尊者有提及，那么最好呢，要能够对于阿毗达摩概要经解的内容熟练的掌握，并且呢，因为达玛桑嘎尼它是作为诸论藏的一个开导，一个领导。那么，因为它最初出现，所以呢，它的内容也是相当的重要。那么，尤其是其中的马蒂嘎论母的内容也是更为的重要。它和戒论的学习呢是相关联的。因此，大家如果要去学习达杜卡塔的内容呢，应当做好这样的准备。那尊者提及，在学习论藏的过程之中，最好是按照这样的顺序，比如说先去很好的学习达玛三嘎尼，然后学习为班嘎分别论，然后学习戒论，然后呢去学习巴塔那。像这样有次第的循序渐进的学习呢，它是更加的符合于法的规律，是善法。那么但是呢，尊者也安慰大家说，不用太过的担心，即使说之前没有学习过像达玛三嘎尼法纪论的内容呢，也没有关系，可以对于达玛三嘎尼之中有关于马蒂嘎的内容与戒论的内容同时一起去进行学习。那么尊者有提及，如果是英文的学员的话呢，夏雷阿甘亚尼呢有跟大家分享一些英文的材料。那么中文的相关的材料呢，如果大家有相关的需要呢，对于马蒂卡的学习，尊者也有要求，如果说有必要，可以让我来为大家进行一些的帮助。
Okay, now we'll move into the Pali straight away. So in Pali, the book, the Dhātukathā Pali, the Abhidhamma, the third book. In the third book, this book there are two separate sections. Two sections are there, right? So this one, the first section is called Uddesa, and the second section is called the Niddesa. Okay, can you see both the screens? Two screens, two
Yes,
the
Bande,
file.
we
And
can
okay,
see.
yeah, good. So it's the Uddesa. It means the table of contents, and we can say Uddesa in Pali. It's a kind of a, now the Sayadaw translated this as table of contents, but in Uddesa, if you translate this word literally, we can say like it's a summary or it's a statement in brief. We find this in suttas, right? First we have the Uddesa, then the second part we find it as the explanation. So the Uddesa, and the second part is called the Niddesa. Niddesa means the whatever it is mentioned in the Uddesa in brief is explained later in a detailed way. So the book, the Dhātukathā Pali, it's two-folded, the Uddesa and Niddesa. This is the Uddesa means the table of contents, and the Niddesa, the Sayadaw has translated this as the catechetical exposition, if I'm right. I don't know, right? So what it means is that then in the Niddesa, what we see in the Niddesa is it's in the Q&A form, like question and answer. So that's the form that we see in Pali, in the Dhātukathā Pali, in the Niddesa.
好，在此的话，大家请看到由班day分享的屏幕当中Dhatukatha巴利的内容。那么对于戒论的组成呢，主要它分为这样的2个部分。第一个部分是 Uddesa，即是总论，而第2个部分呢，则是 Nidesa 广释。那么总论呢，相当于是论母的内容，它对于在戒论当中所提及的应当去讨论的内容在这里简要的提及。而到了Nidesa 广释的内容之时呢，则会对在总论Uddesa之中所提及的内容呢，去进行解释，加以进行详解。
Okay, so in Uddesa, which is the table of contents, there are 5 parts, 5 subsections. First one is called Nayamatika, second one is called Abhantara-matika, the third one is called Naya Mukha-matika, the fourth one is called the Lakhana-matika, and the fifth one is called the Bahira-matika, right? So these are the five sections which are applicable here. And when you look at the translation, how it is translated as, so Nayamatika, it is translated as methods. Abhantara-matika, it's translated as internal states of inquiry. And the Naya-Mukha-matika, principles of the methods. And the fourth one, Lakhana-matika, characteristics of the methods. And the fifth one, Bahira-matika, external states of inquiry. So yes, so those are the names, and then I will go into the detail later on.
Okay, Bande. By the way, Bande, maybe your network is not so stable, right?
Yes. Did you miss anything? Like, do I need to repeat it?
No need, Bande. I can hear, but a little bit and not so stable.
Yes, I should know.
Okay, Bande, I can translate now. 在此对于 Uddesa 的内容呢，它有5项的内容组成，分别是 Nayamatika、Abhantara-matika、Naya-Mukha-matika、Lakhana-matika 以及 Bahira-matika。那么它们是什么意思呢？第一 ，Nayamatika 是定式论母，即是用一些特定的方法去对于诸究竟法以一些特定的方式，比如运出界的方式去进行展开进行讨论。第2种呢 ，Abhantara-matika 叫做内法论母。
So the first one, it's called Nayamatika, right? Nayamatika, Naya means the method, Matika means the topic, right? So we see that the term Matika in each of these 5, right? We know this is the Uddesa, it's the topic which is given in the summary, right? So here the Matika means the topic, right? Nayamatika means that the methods which are involved in Dhatukatha. So in Dhatukatha, there are 14 of them here, right? We have to learn these 14 of these methods in Dhatukatha. So so essentially in there are 14 chapters after this, like the Nirdesa. There are 14 chapters. So each of these topic become is going to be a heading for a chapter, new chapter. So I'll just go through these Pali names, right? The first one is Sangaho Asangaho, classification and unclassification. Second one is Sangahitena Asangahitang, classified and unclassified. Third one is Asangahitena Sangahitang, unclassified and classified. The fourth one is Sangahitena Sangahitang, classified and classified. Fifth one is Asangahitena Asangahitang, unclassified and classified. Sixth one is Sampayogo Vipayogo, association and disassociation. Seventh one is Sampayuttena Vipayuttang, associated and disassociated. Eighth one is Vipayuttena Sampayuttang, disassociated and associated. The ninth one is Sampayuttena Sampayuttang, associated and associated. 10th one is Vipayuttena Vipayuttang, disassociated and disassociated. The 11th one is Sangahitena Sampayuttang Vipayuttang, associated with and disassociated from the classified. The 12th one is Sampayuttena Sangahitang Asangahitang, classified and unclassified concerning the associated. The 13th one is Asangahitena Sampayuttang Vipayuttang, associated with and disassociated from the unclassified. The 14th one is Vipayuttena Sangahitang Asangahitang, classified and unclassified concerning the disassociated. So what we are now, I know like it's just a topic and I just went through these names, right? I'm sure that you are not going to understand this thing. So I just went through the sake, I mean, because it's the Pali words that we need to get familiarized with. So that's why I went through this list. So these 14 topics we are going to discuss, right? Yes, also please.
那么
It's required. Yeah.
那么首先呢，尊者为大家介绍，在构成结论的第一项的主体的内容，那亚马迪嘎它的构成的内容有哪些呢？构成那亚马迪嘎定式论母的主体的内容一共是有14项。哪14项呢？它们分别是：第一，桑嘎后阿桑嘎后，以摄与非摄。第二种的方式是桑嘎黑德那阿桑嘎黑当所摄之非摄。第三种是阿桑嘎黑德那桑嘎黑当非摄者之所摄。第四种呢是桑嘎黑德那桑嘎黑当所摄者之所摄。第六种是阿桑嘎黑德那阿桑嘎黑当非摄者之非摄。第六种是桑巴有勾维巴有勾相应不相应。第七种是安巴有德那维巴有当相应之不相应。第八种是维巴有德那三巴有当不相应之相应。第九种是三巴有德那三巴有当相应之相应。第10种是维巴有德那维巴有当不相应之不相应。第11种是三嘎黑德那三巴有当维巴有当所摄之相应与不相应与非摄。那么这14种的方式呢，是在第一种的定式论母之中所主要探讨的内容。那么在此呢，尊者为大家首先诠释了构成第一种定式论母它的内容的名称，那么以方便大家进行理解。
Yes. So the next topic in the Uddesa, it's called the Abhantara Matika. So the meaning Abhantara means internal. Matika, it's topic. So Sayadaw has translated the Matika as inquiry. Abhantara, he has translated it as internal states of inquiry. So inquiry, we know it's the questions. So why Sayadaw has mentioned this as inquiry? It means that if I told us in the beginning that in this Dhatukatha, this discourse is in question and answer form. So because it's in question and answer form, Sayadaw has translated this as internal states of inquiry. So now we come across a question. When you say internal states of inquiry, there should be something external, isn't it? So there is another topic. The fifth one is called Bahira Matika. So Bahira Matika means we see it as external states of inquiry, right? The Bahira Matika, it's translated as external states of inquiry. So what is included in the external states of inquiry are the table of contents, the Matika, which comes from the Dhammasangani, the 22 triplets and 100 couplets. So those are the external states of inquiry which comes from the Dhammasangani. So because they are not included in these 5 topics, I mean, which is included here, which comes from because it comes from an external source, it's called the external states of inquiry. So when you compare it with these topics, there are 16 of them here. So these 16 are called the Abhantara Matika, which is the internal states of
是内的。那么在此呢，是在戒论之中探讨在内的相关的法的论母的主体的内容。构成它的内容呢，一共是有16项的主体的内容。与阿班达拉马蒂嘎，即是内法论母相对的，即是第五个部分的相关的内容，叫做巴希拉马蒂嘎。那么即是有关于对于外法的论母，即是在戒论之外的法的探讨。那这一部分的内容呢，即是对有关于在达玛三嘎尼之中，所探讨的马蒂嘎的内容所进行的探讨。那么在这里，不管是论内的内法的论母，以及是在戒论之中所探讨的这些的内容，或者呢是在第五种的论外的论外法论母之中所讨论的内容呢，往往都是以问答的方式，对于在其中的每一种论母的内容去进行提问，并且呢进行回答。
Okay, so I intend to do a class, and the class maybe another 10-20 minutes, but now I think my internet connection is not good. The reason being is that I'm not in my usual monastery. I'm traveling these days in another place, so this connection, the internet connection, is not good. I think it would be better to continue this class, the discussion, in the next week, right? I mean, because there are so many disturbances, I think, and the next few topics, they are connected, and I think it's not being the best to continue in this way. So I would like to kindly apologize all of you, because the condition which is not at this moment, maybe not suitable for the class here. Maybe after 7 o'clock there are so many users in this area, so the internet is not good. But what I can do is that I can do this class next week, right, on next Sunday, and
好，并不是特别的顺利，所以的话呢，可能应当会在下一周的周日的时间，在网络顺畅的情况之下呢，能够给大家进行更好的有关于法的布施。
Okay, so also shall we share merits and end the class now?
Yes, Bande. Please, can we do the merits sharing now?
Yes. Okay. So I will recite the Pali stanzas and share the merits. Idang me ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Imina punya kammena Vāna samāgamo Atan samāgamo hotu Yāvana pattiya Idang me punyang asavakkaya hotu Idam me punyang nibbānassa paccayo Mama punya bhagang sabba sattara te sabbe savam punya bhagang Buddha sasanang cirang tiddhatu Buddha sasanang cirang tiddhatu Buddha sasanang cirang tiddhatu Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, Bande. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.